Mhm. RJ got RJ represent for Miles Morales. I got some Miles over here
Miles
too.
Morales.
That's right. That's a funny story, right? So we're Dominican, and when we first started finding out about Miles, from what I had read, like the articles, they said he was Dominican and black. So I am ecstatic. I know, I know. I'm like so excited that first of all, one of my favorite superheroes, now the version is Dominican, and I'm over here like, oh shit. But then we find out that it's Puerto Rican. But my
Oh.
my 8-year-old, who was like 6 and 5 at the time, used to walk around the house like Dominican Spider-Man, Dominican Spider-Man, Dominican Spider-Man. So
You gotta let him have it.
I haven't had the heart to tell him
Gotta let him have
that
it.
he's
You gotta
Puerto
let him
Rican.
have it.
Dominican. Shh. I can't. He'll be heartbroken, but he loves Miles Morales.
Latino.
Yes, yes. But again, we'll talk about how he has the reference in the movie. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? It's your boy J-Kruz with another podcast, J-Kruz and Friends Review. We had talked earlier, if you watched the previous episode, about Eternals, but now I had changed wardrobe, and I am in Spider mode. And we are going to talk about No Way Home, the new Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and a star-studded cast, tons of nostalgia, memories. It was such an enjoyable ride. And I had doubts. I came into this movie firing shots, cuz I'm not a fan of really young Spider-Man. I'm not. Like high school Spider. I don't need 3 movies of a high school Spider-Man. I don't. I need an adult. I need an adult. And so I've had the whole techie Iron Man Spider-Man, not a fan of. Really, I'm not. I mean, I take it. It's cool. It's different. Again, so I went into the movie with doubts and speculations. I speculated that we were only going to get all the Spideys together at the end for a very short period of time. And again, it blew my expectations, and really, really dope movie. But I'm going to let you guys speak first. So whoever wants to jump in first, let me know what you liked or didn't like about Spider-Man No Way Home. DQ, you want to go first?
There's nothing I didn't like about it.
Nothing?
I loved everything about it. Oh, I mean, it left some plot holes, but other than that, I mean, he's still an Avenger. Well, I mean, does the Avengers still remember him? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like they
That's a
don't remember
good
Peter
question.
Parker, but like they remember Spider-Man.
I'm not going to remember you.
Wait, say it again.
Even Dr. Strange said, I'm not going to remember you. No one's going to remember you.
They remember Spider-Man.
They remember Spider-Man. They just don't know who he is.
Right.
That's
Nobody.
What I was gonna ask. They're gonna remember Spider-Man, but not
Peter Parker. Because remember, nobody's gonna remember Peter Parker, not Spider-Man.
So do you ever, like if you've ever dreamed, right, and you see someone in your dream, but you know who they are, but you're not looking at their face, like you can't see their face for whatever reason. Think about it like that. Like you're like, oh, yeah, Spider-Man was there, but like I know Spider-Man was there. I couldn't see his face. It's like that. Like they're not going to remember. They're just going to remember Spider-Man.
DQ, to also back up that question, is everybody going to remember Spider-Man or Peter? I read in an article that only people on planet Earth forget Peter Parker. The Guardians still remember him. The Captain Marvel will still remember. The spell only worked on people who were on Earth. So that still leaves you where he doesn't have to remember Nick Fury or, they don't have to remember him, all these other characters that are in space at this time. Now, it's a theory. I don't know what's behind that, but.
It wouldn't make sense. But...
Yeah.
No? You guys don't like that?
Dr. Strange. And words mean things. He said everyone. And he's a spell. So
even himself. Remember? Even he said.
So, I don't know.
Good question.
I mean, the other one was. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna hijack the conversation.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So, I mean, there was nothing not to like about the movie. I will say I wish, and I understand that why they did it like they did it, but I wish there was a little more screen time with Tom, Toby, and Andrew. Like the short little amount of screen time we had, yeah, it was great. And
See,
maybe it
that's
was
something
just
they
enough
complain
for all
about.
the
That's something they
nostalgic
complain
vibes.
about. Yeah.
Man,
was so
yeah.
great.
And even if they could have threw Miles Morales, I know there was a mention towards him, but like
Yeah.
as soon as
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx mentioned that, like, you black, you helping out poor people, like I thought she was black. Like I'm sitting here thinking, okay, Miles Morales is gonna pop up somewhere, or maybe even in the post-credit scene. Um, but other than that, the entire movie in itself was perfect. And I know you said you don't like High School Spider-Man, but I feel like the character development throughout of these three movies, like those three High School Spider-Mans were made perfectly to end it like it did. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Right.
that was Spider Boy. Now this is Spider
It's
Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah,
Like,
and I totally
yeah.
I am more I'm looking forward to this one. This, because now obviously he's moving into his apartment. Oh, and they also said if you pay attention to the apartment, it looks exactly like Tobey Maguire's apartment.
Tobey
Yeah.
Maguire, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
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 I
yeah.
noticed that.
All
Mm-hmm.
his apartments off that same build. Because even into the Spider-Verse, Peter was living in that kind of same looking
In
apartment.
that kind of apartment. Yeah.
Right.
So
That was
he's in he
another. Sorry, and another thing, like this was a big. It bothered me. So it only brought villains that knew Spider-Man was Peter Parker. I didn't like in the Amazing Spider-Man. I never knew if Electro knew if Spider-Man was Peter Parker or not.
Oh, did Electro ever actually know?
No, Electro didn't ever know that. It was, the thing is, like,
Okay.
okay, it's also further in the timeline, right? So he didn't know when that happened. But
Oh, okay, yeah. Now he probably knew in the timeline, and I feel the first
Oh,
time.
well, he also could have been in jail after it was,
Right.
everybody told the world.
Yeah.
Then he might have just heard in jail.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
We're talking about like who knew who Spider, like, and they were slowly bringing people in because all the Mary Janes would have had to be in there, like
Right, right.
would have had to been there, like there would have had to been a bunch of other people, but like none of the Uncle Ben showed back up, so like.
And Leisha, they're not ready to show you. They're not ready for Miles. Marvel's not ready for Miles. They're gonna save that.
You think so?
Not at all. That's a big deal. They're gonna pick the right actor. Costumes got to be right.
Yeah.
The story's got to be right.
They've already made a hint to Miles, and Spider-Man Homecoming, when Danny
Homecoming.
Glover
When he said he has like a cousin or something.
he says I have
Yeah,
a
nephew.
the Prowler,
Nephew.
and the Prowler is him. That's his uncle. But Miles comes from a different universe where his Peter
Yeah.
died.
Right.
So,
In his universe, Peter dies. Right.
Why
So
did he
that's the only reason when I saw them make the reference to Miles, I knew it was just going to be a reference. I knew you weren't going to get anything else other than the reference, which I thought was cool, but they're not ready to. That's a big, once they're, Toby's got to take a.
Miles is too young right now. Again, I think Tom Holland just got out of high school.
Got
So,
you.
like,
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
the blip? You gotta remember the blip though. It's 5 years later though. Miles could have been 8. He could be 13 now.
Oh.
You gotta
Yeah.
remember the blip.
The 5 years.
There'd be no point in bringing in Miles right now.
No, I totally agree with you. It's too early. Yeah. I get it, Leisha. I get it, but you wanting too
I
much,
just
okay?
hope he
You
comes
want
out.
it.
Oh, excuse me. I hope he comes out in my lifetime. That's all.
Oh no, he will. Absolutely. And then I'm thinking in the next 3 years we see Miles maybe.
Into the Spider-Verse 2 is coming out. They dropped the trailer for that this
Yeah,
month,
I've
right?
seen that too.
So we'll have more. And like
I think Marvel will introduce a live action Miles in the next 3 years, probably. Maybe 4. But I remember there were rumors of a couple guys who were already casted. They were thinking about casting them as Miles.
That was fantastic.
Childish Gambino a long time ago, which is why in Into the Spider-Verse, if you look when they're in his uncle's apartment for the first time, if you look at what they're watching, it's a picture of Childish Gambino with a spider
On it with the J's, I think. Yeah.
he got the uncle because he wanted to be Spider-Man.
Gotcha.
I think this movie is like, I don't think we're gonna have like I said, I don't think we're gonna have like a whole bunch of like multiverse crossovers. I think we're gonna have like a whole bunch of like movies from a different universe though. So that's how they like bringing Andrew Garfield back. He could be. He's they're thinking about bringing him back. He could be in his own universe again, but there's another universe with Tom Holland. Then it could be our universe with Miles Morales if they ever cast him.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that they have opened the door to be, in your own universe and have another Spidey from somewhere else that has nothing to do with the one.
Yeah, so like they be like, okay, you don't like this Spider-Man? Okay, we're gonna have another Spider-Man movie next year. Yeah,
but
this,
I gotta be honest, I don't want to see any more Tobey Maguire movies.
Oh, Toby. Toby. Yeah, I mean, I love Toby.
All he do is cry. Okay, let's go back to the Tobey Maguire movies
Okay,
if you want to.
Sometimes.
All he did, every single movie,
show some male vulnerability. How about
all
that?
he did was cry. Toby cried.
Spider-Man's always crying. He just didn't do it as brooding.
Andrew Garfield cried all the time.
I know, but he did it.
Andrew Garfield showed up in that movie looking like he was still crying. Okay, so let's
I know. They all had like watery eyes. I was like, what's going on?
I was gonna say he cried in No Way Home.
The Spider-Man is tragic. That's the thing about Spider-Man. He gets the closest to the darkness without losing his hope. That's why everyone loves Spider-Man, because all he encompasses is hope, right? You gotta think, like, because of Spider-Man, and Spider-Man was Stan Lee's favorite character, because of Spider-Man, that saved Marvel. When the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man came out, he was the highest selling superhero in the world, and it saved Marvel because they almost went bankrupt. That's why it was so hard to get him back.
Say that again for me.
No, don't you even DQ.
Marvel was bankrupt, right? You gotta think when
Blade saved Marvel. Thank you very much.
Miles or the Spider-Man, because you gotta think you also have video games. Now Blade was the first, but he didn't sell like that. Spider-Man sold more than everyone else. He's the highest rated character at this time. So, which means they made more money. Talking about money, like it was Spider-Man. Don't get it twisted.
Well, let's be on. Nobody makes more money than Batman. Just to throw that out there. But
at the time, not at that time.
At the time, okay.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, right? Because Blade came out first, and then they did the Spider-Man. And Spider-Man made so much money, Marvel didn't have to go bankrupt, and they started buying back all of their stuff.
Their character. You know what? I do remember that. Right.
Right.
So shout outs to Spidey for saving Marvel.
But no, there was amazing that entire movie.
But my thing is this: let's all agree that if they're gonna bring back another Spider-Man from our previous Spideys, everybody wants to see Garfield instead of Tobey. Nobody wants to see another.
Hell
Toby.
yeah!
I want to see Garfield.
Toby, but yeah,
Toby is great. Toby's great as a mentor role, as a like OG, but he doesn't need much time. Like he doesn't need his own movie. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, he doesn't need his.
But just like when Peter was finally throwing hands on the Green Goblin, Andrew couldn't have. It had to be Toby.
Yeah. Toby came in and saved him. Yeah, because he's the.
Hold on. Even when he was talking to Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Remember the conversation? He's like, "I'm just trying to be better." Looking at two other versions of him, younger than him, just trying to be better. Because Andrew, they tried to get right what they didn't get right with Toby. Now we got to Tom, and Tom, they got right everything they didn't get right with the two before.
Right. Yeah. No, I remember you telling me that earlier.
Like, oh, you're smart. Oh, and you have technology. Spider-Man usually doesn't have as much tech like that. He's like, hold on, you get to be smart, you get to have this technology, and you get to be strong. Nah, bruh. You don't get to have all this. Not how the world works. You haven't touched the darkness like they have. But thank you for putting her in front of me. I'm gonna murder everybody.
He did, and he murked her. I thought the killing off Mary Jane definitely was the way to go.
Okay.
I mean, not Mary Jane.
Aunt May.
Aunt May. Killing off Aunt May was definitely the way to go because there had to be some kind of loss in the movie to for impact.
What threw me off with that though, aside from Aunt May dying and then nobody remembering Peter Parker, is this Peter Parker, Tom Holland's Peter Parker, didn't have anybody at the end of this movie. The other Spider-Mans had somebody.
That's the point. They said, because people asked when he came out earlier, and they were like, "Are we not going to get his origin?" Like they said, y'all are watching his origin. So he has him as Spider-Man until this movie, because remember they said in the movie, they're like, "Oh, you have a team?" Because all the other two did it by themselves.
Yeah, Avengers, right? Yeah.
That's why Spider-Man was
By
so
himself
helpful.
now.
He was a 16-year-old prodigy rolling through New York, dropping people with his bare hands and his mind. So like, but he hadn't touched any death, any real sacrifice stuff. He lost Tony, but I mean, Tony was a grown man. So yeah,
Yeah,
and then
he had everybody else behind him.
Yeah, he
Right.
didn't lose Tony alone. Everybody lost Tony. We all lost
Right.
Tony, right? It wasn't like he lost him alone. Yeah.
this is, and then again, they all had their moments. That's why they're like, it was just like in Into Spider-Verse. For me, it was my Uncle Benjamin. For me, it was my uncle. For me, it was my best friend. For me, it was this. And like the best.
Don't do it. No. Don't do it. Let me say it. Were you about to say the best scene? Let me say it, because me and him had a conversation earlier today. Okay, so personally, if you could all talk about like whatever was your favorite scene. For me, the most moving and touching scene was when Garfield caught MJ and he's looking at her and he's remembering and he's about to start just breaking down, and then MJ says to him, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be all right." Oh my God, I was in there.
That got me in my heart feels.
I had the tear right here.
This whole movie was to satisfy the audience, the people, because like the answers. So it's like the people wrote the movie because they were just answering so many questions like everybody was asking. Like they gave everybody the Spider-Man, your Spider-Man, the Spider-Man scene, the Spider-Man that scene. Then they like, oh, what if the Spider-Mans meet and they ask Toby, does that come out your body?
Yes.
Yes.
They like then well, Andrew was like, no, Peter was
does
Toby
it come anywhere else?
Tom was like, does it come out anywhere else?
I thought that was really dope.
The back thing, has your back hurt? Like, oh God, like you wouldn't leave. Like the back thing.
Oh yeah, the back. Yeah, that was funny. Oh, I loved how he came. Garfield came through the hole at first, because I really thought it was Tom Holland. I thought they found him, and when he comes through the hole, then you see the costume. You're like, oh shit! And then how he did that? What I got to do more than just hang from the ceiling? Like I got to do more.
I clapped so hard on that scene. I clapped so hard.
Bruh,
I never clapped so much.
DQ was live in that the whole damn time. Homie was jumping, screaming, wait. Like, man, you were probably louder than everybody else in the damn theater.
Tyler, I need you to jump in here, Tyler. Come on, man. Tell me something.
I would say Willem Dafoe was my favorite part of the movie.
Absolutely. Even though, let me say this, just jump in. I want you to keep talking. I just want to come in and say I hate his costume, but continue.
I just thought he was so good. I think Green Goblin's one of the best movie villains now because of just this movie and the first one. I thought he was way more menacing. I loved my whole favorite scene was the apartment scene, from the moment when Peter gets that Spidey sense. And
when you can tell.
Yeah, he senses the turn. And the fight after that, I thought was really well done. Anything with Green Goblin stole the show for me.
I like the fact that he didn't have a mask on the entire movie.
Girl, he's William
He really
Dafoe.
personified that evilness all over his face.
That scene when they were fighting in the apartment, and you just heard every single punch that was thrown. And like, when Tom Holland jumped on top of William Dafoe and started beating him in the face with his fist,
he's just laughing the whole time.
And Dafoe was just sitting there laughing at him. Like, that was just crazy.
His facial expressions are one of the best. Obviously, we're talking about William Dafoe. Okay, he's an amazing actor. But here goes Marvel, like breaking his mask right away so he can't put it back on. Like the minute he did that, I was like, God damn you, Marvel. Like, okay, I get it. Listen, it's William Dafoe. You don't want him wearing a mask for 30 minutes. I get it.
You're missing it. Ned's gonna be the Hobgoblin. So if you notice, like I told you earlier, in that sewing machine was the same stitching as the inside of Hobgoblin's blue, because it was orange, right? He has an orange hood and cowl, and the inside is blue. And then he's gonna wear Willem Dafoe's bottom mask.
Oh, that's just the bottom, because that's what was left.
Right. He's like, oh, I promise I'm not gonna kill you. I'm not gonna kill you. but then completely forgot they even had that interaction.
I was disagreeing with RJ on this one. I said they went out of their way to tell you he's never gonna go after Spidey. But RJ made a point. He said, "Yeah, but he doesn't know Spidey anymore. So how can you promise to somebody that you don't know him anymore?" So I was like, "Okay, I get it. I like it."
That's why it's gonna be so sad, because it's gonna happen, or it's gonna come close to happening. Because Ned's gonna be the hobgoblin. That's absolutely happening. So whether or not he dies in Spider-Man's arms, and this is how long they wanted to foreshadow it, I don't know if they're going to kill him or not. But that's why it's going to be so fucking tragic, because he's going to remember, Peter's going to remember him telling him that, and still have to fight.
Yeah, he remembers everything. Yes, good point. The Sandman, I feel like he fell a little flat. Sandman fell a little flat to me.
I agree.
I think technically, like, not being able to see the actor was kind of a big hindrance, and then when we do see him, it's footage from Spider-Man 3.
That's what it was, right? It was old footage, right?
Yeah, because the actor couldn't be there, so they ADR'd all his lines, and then he couldn't physically be there, so they just used footage from Spider-Man.
So that's why he was sand all the time.
He's boring.
He was.
There's no character. There's no depth in the comics. He's boring. He was only there because it was somebody else they needed to.
And also, he's not a bad guy.
He's not. He's not a bad guy, right?
He's not.
But so neither is Doc Ock. The tentacles are bad, but Doc Ock is, and Doc Ock was, to me, was like not flat because he was enjoyable. I liked the bit of the conflict, but he wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't a bad guy in the movie. He was a good guy. You know what I mean? He was kind of like Sandman.
Did you notice him and Aunt May always have a thing? Because they date in the animated series, and like they love each other.
Oh, for real?
That's why she was talking to him. She's like, "Do you want any water?" And he's like, "Yes, I actually would like some water." That's
you can tell.
Remember it Into the Spider-Verse when like the Doc Ock choked Peter to the ground, and he was like, "I assume your friends call you Doc Ock," and she's like, "No. My friends call me Liv. My enemies call me Doc Ock." And then when they get to the house, Aunt May was like, "Oh look, Liv. They're cool in every iteration." Something about the relationship all the time.
How do we like the nanotechnology taking over Doc Ock? The tentacles. How do we feel about that? I don't know how I felt. I liked it. I was questioning it. I was like,
I mean, it makes sense though, because you have
It does.
The small machines that take over other machines.
Yeah.
So, and then they come from time on the iPhone. So it'd be like,
I don't know if he's working on nanotech. But Doc Ock, he was I can't get his name out. Osborn. All he did, he worked on nanotech in Spider-Man. Peter mentioned it in the first movie. He said, "Yeah, I like your research on nanotechnology." Oscorp it funded Dr. Octavius' work, and so it helped him build his tentacles. So Peter's nanotech took over Doc Ock's tentacles, and I guess it Bluetooth. It said,
yeah.
That was a funny. It was just a good nod to back to the old Spider-Man movies. So everything's connecting in these movies. That's what I liked about it too.
It was.
This was a movie that brought 3 generations of Spider-Man fans together.
Yeah.
And they're like, obviously, every rating was right. They got a 99 or 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. They did not miss with this movie at all. I'm sure there's a couple of things that could have been done better, but ultimately, this was a damn good movie. I'm probably gonna go see it again a couple times this week.
Oh, you are? You going back?
Hell yeah! It was that damn good to me.
I will say Jamie Foxx's performance is boring.
You said Jamie Foxx was boring?
Yeah, me and RJ talked about this before. He wasn't really impressed with Jamie Foxx's performance.
Because Jamie Foxx was beautiful, but as a villain, he didn't have any great motivation. He had some good dialogue between the other like it played well across other actors because you sell these fans, sell some meals, that'll do it. Like that was funny, but as a character and as a villain, I just want more power.
And he actually
Wait,
didn't.
did you say?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go
Alicia.
ahead. My bad.
No, you're fine.
You said he didn't have any motivation, like to be a villain. He wanted to be seen. That's it. He just wanted to be seen and know. He wanted motherfuckers to know who he was. Like that's it. That's it.
Yeah, that's my point. It's lying.
He's got a motivation. That's motivation right there. Honestly.
That's motivation. No,
like you're gonna do anything to get seen.
Right, based off of the Amazing Spider-Man movies, the way he was treated, of course, like I would be the same way if everybody treated me like that.
In those movies,
you're also allowing people to treat you like that. So you want to be seen, but you also don't want to step out from the light. And the first time you got any glimpse of power, you started killing people. So like again, like but also it's not very, because think about everyone else's motivation, right? You had Dr. Connors who was trying to grow back his arm, wanted to do this for every other kid, every other person who had to live without an appendage. Okay, then you have Otto Octavius who's literally trying to get free energy, trying to give energy to the world for free, right? Then you have Willem Dafoe's character as Hobgoblin, who only takes over when he feels like Norman's being bullied. He got bullied out of his company. He gets bullied, so the Goblin can.
Like his alter ego.
So they have all of these beats. Even though, his motivation is kind of like, I want my kids. Even though you don't know whether, like, bro, you're going back to prison. Like, you still killed somebody. Like, you're going back to jail. But he was boring, but he was kind of a throwaway. There was just somebody to fix. Jamie Foxx's character, especially how good of a performance Jamie Foxx gives in other movies, it just kind of fell flat. Like, it was just boring.
Yeah.
Alicia, let me say this, though. Even though you guys can disagree on that, because Alicia's face says it all. She's like, what? I will say this, that he was the only bad guy who really just gave up because his power was taken. It wasn't like he came to like the understanding like, oh, I was wrong. Like Doc Ock knew he was wrong. Goblin knew he was wrong. Everybody knew they was wrong except for him. The only reason he gave up is because his power was taken.
He didn't have his power. He wasn't gonna be seen no more.
But that's what I'm saying. He didn't give up because he knew he was wrong. He gave up because his power was. He was like, man, I'm done. I ain't got nothing. I'm done. You know what I mean?
Maybe I'm just fucked up because I thought he had a legitimate reason for being a bad guy. Like people were bullying you, people weren't being nice to you. They forgot about your birthday.
In Amazing Spider-Man 2, Jamie Foxx made me feel sorry for him, and I understood why he was acting that way. Yes. But in this movie, I kind of agree with RJ, not so much because he was handsome, he had a fade. Like nigga, you look good. Like what you talking about?
Are you not familiar with ugly duckling syndrome, J-Kruz?
Yeah, no, I get it.
You're a grown man who never established any relationship. You know who nobody knew your birthday? You gotta be a friend to have friends. And he just not, he was reaching out. He's trying to get with his nobody. A grown man.
You being really hard on Jamie Foxx.
Amy!
Yeah, he being really hard on Jamie Foxx, man. He being really hard on.
Look, people can say what they are. He was fine when he didn't have any power and then started killing people as soon as he got power. That sounds like a lot of people with a lot of issues already in our country. It's like, oh no, I would never do that. As soon as you can do it.
All right.
He'd have been great on The Boy. He'd have been a great character on The Boy.
Yeah.
And I liked him better, not a whole lightning bolt. I liked him being like a human who could control light. I thought that was like when his mask kind of showed up on his face at times, like the angular. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then it was fun, and it didn't ruin it for me because he wasn't that necessary either. You know what I'm saying? He was kind of throw him in there, cause a little havoc, boom, shut him down. You know what I mean? But obviously William Dafoe, my son's walking around. Best on-screen villain ever, Dad. Best on-screen. Look, Tyler's like, he's right.
It's not better than Joker.
And for somebody who's
not better than who?
Joker. Heath Ledger's Joker.
I'm right there with you.
Heath
Ledger can be the Joker right now. He can be the Joker right now. Put him in a Joker movie.
Oh yeah, no. And people have been saying that William Dafoe should have played the Joker years ago. I get that part, right? I get it.
He'll steal the show. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna say, guys, as far as performances, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is a better performance than Heath Ledger. Let's get serious here.
No,
What are you guys
sir.
talking about?
No,
What?
sir.
From a theatrical standpoint, yes.
Yes.
He's not a better Joker. He's not better as the character.
Yes, because that Joker's like Tyler says, that was the Scorsese. That was like, what do you say was Godfather or
The Taxi Driver ripoff.
yeah, Taxi Driver ripoff. I get it.
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
Which is why
That's where they got the idea from, though. Taxi Driver.
Robert De Niro in it.
Yeah, no, I get it. But I'm just gonna argue that Joaquin Phoenix. You want to talk about Jokers anyway?
You're gonna argue about it, but you have no
I was
point.
really looking for
Can I bring this up because I need you guys to help me on this? Okay. At the end of Venom, have you guys seen the new Venom with Carnage?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Tyler, you haven't seen it?
No.
Okay, let me explain. At the end of Venom, do you remember the scene where Venom licks the screen when Tom Holland's on it? Okay. Has he been transported to Tom Holland's world at that time? Because they're not from the same universe. And then was Venom and was Venom pulled into the universe because he knew who Peter Parker was? But when Venom knows who Peter Parker is, but not
So hold on.
Brock?
Eddie Brock.
Hold on. Venom is a symbiote. The symbiote, they have a hive mind.
Knowledge, right? Right. Okay.
So remember that in the first
these
series,
years of knowledge.
Tom Holland Spider-Man had a Venom. Venom was in the third Spider-Man, right? If they share a hive mind, that's how they know who Peter Parker is.
Oh, that Venom in the lab, right? Or was it in the lab?
No, the one alone, Peter Parker in number 3.
Talking about Toby.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Oh, Toby's, yes. Okay, yeah.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, right? Remember, there was a villain, the Sandman and Venom.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, those things share a hive mind across. It make reference to it in Venom 2. He's like, we share a hive mind across the cosmos, and across dimensions. That's
what I was. Yeah.
Right. It would crush.
That's why I told Leisha it was 2 ways Venom could have came into this movie. It could have been Eddie Brock. I mean, not Eddie Brock. What's his name?
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. Or it could have been Topher Grace. I don't think they would have put Topher Grace back in this movie.
I was hoping Topher Grace would come back.
Why? Oh God.
I watched Spider-Man 3 as a kid in theaters, so I have fond memories of it.
You can't get the first movie watching theaters.
We didn't need that 70s show dude to show up.
I don't know. He had the same physique and presence as Tobey Maguire to me, but he just felt like the inverse of Tobey Maguire. He was like kind of nerdy, kind of shorter.
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
I don't know. It just felt like a foil. That's why I think they went with Topher Grace.
That was the idea. They were supposed to mirror each other. Toby was supposed to be the good person.
Yeah.
Then here comes Topher. He's supposed to be like the reverse image
on steroids for the last 2 decades. Okay, Venom is swole. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
I
I
think,
remember-
well, Sam Raimi doesn't know really much or doesn't like Venom, so he just kind of did his own thing with it. So I understand what Sam Raimi was doing.
I remember those rumors that he didn't really want to have him in the movie, right?
Yeah, it was Avi, which, speaking of Avi, they gave him a special shout out at the end in the credits. I don't know if you guys saw that. They were like, the genius mind of Avi Ara. Thank you so much.
I didn't see that.
He's the
that.
guy
Yeah,
who
man,
ruined the
probably the main
last 2
villain.
franchises.
So that little piece of Venom that was left on the table now is saying that now there's a symbiote in Tom Holland's universe.
Yeah, it's gonna find it for the Tom Holland. Yeah.
So the Venom that we get in Tom Holland's universe might not even be the one from Sony and the one that it could be a totally different Brock.
They're
I
way
hope so.
different ones.
Oh, it could be Brock. They could also do Agent Venom.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an Asian one.
Yeah, Flash.
Agent Venom.
Agent
Yeah.
Venom. Oh, okay.
So in the comics, like, so you remember in the Amazing Spider-Man, remember Flash bullied Peter, right? Because his dad's an alcoholic who beats him up every day. So he goes to school and bullies Peter because he can. then he goes to Iraq, gets his legs blown off, and then the government's experimenting on soldiers with symbiote. He becomes Agent Venom, and when he has Venom, he has his legs back. He's Agent Venom.
Okay, so we could see that version in Tom Holland's universe.
Well, who knows?
Could. Oh,
This,
who knows? Right.
I don't know. I can't see this version of Flash going to Iraq.
Yeah, I don't even.
Oh yeah, because he's like, yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
They could do it with another character. I mean,
Another
they could
guy.
give it to Craven.
Yeah.
People are fighting Spider-Man.
Ooh! Here's what I heard. A rumor that the symbiote isn't gonna take Brock or anybody. It's gonna go with Spidey, and Spidey's gonna fight Craven, and Craven is gonna chase Black Spider-Man suit for a while. You know what I'm saying? You know how Spidey is Black Spidey for a while? So he's gonna own it for a little bit, and the next movie will have Craven, and Craven's gonna want to hunt him and all that. That's a rumor that I heard. So before
I saw Craven in that multiverse rip. I think I saw Craven.
I don't know if I saw Craven, but I saw.
I saw somebody with a staff.
Craven
was Craven.
It was. It happened so fast. I did because there was like 2 short scenes of like rips where you could kind of see silhouettes.
Yeah, you saw Rhino, you saw Scorpion, and I think it was
Scorpion, Rhino. I couldn't tell who the other one was though.
There was, I think Black Cat was in there.
Oh, was she? Yeah, that'd be cool though. Again, it was just so awesome to see all of them on screen. It was really good. I liked that he was like, "So, are you coming dressed as a?" What did he say? When he had to show him, he had his cut. He's like, "Are you dressed?"
He was like, "You're coming dressed as a 40-year-old youth group pastor."
Yeah. He's like, "I got it right here, cuz." That shit was hilarious.
I was really looking for a Hawkeye reference in the movie. I think it's taking place at the same
Christmas
time.
tree, right?
Yeah.
The Christmas tree.
Yeah, I was just looking for something like I saw the Rogers musical, but I was looking for something else in there.
Yeah, I saw that billboard too.
I text you, and I was like, oh, what if remember the scene Peter was walking out when he saw MJ and Ned walking out? What if Peter walked past Clint and what's her name?
Kate Bishop.
Clint and Kate, what they walking past Peter, and Peter sees Clint, and he's just staring at him. Clint walks past Peter and like, "What's up, kid?" and keep walking with Kate or something like that. Like, I was just looking for something like that. That would be nice.
That would have been cool. Yeah, I remember you talking about that too.
Speaking of that, I really like the ending. I've seen people criticize the ending where Tom chooses not to tell MJ that he's Peter Parker, and I really like that moment where he looks and he sees the Band-Aid and he realizes that just her knowing him puts her in danger, and that's the entire great power comes great responsibility.
Yes, that's what I was trying to explain to my son.
Right.
I was like, the Band-Aid, her being hurt, like it reminded him, like if she knows you, she's gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
And that Band-Aid symbolizes that, like, it was the symbolism there I thought was really cool. Like, shit, man, anybody I love is gonna be hurt. You know what I mean? Because of what I do for a living.
It's also dope that she's still wearing the Black Dahlia necklace.
Yep.
That GED scene, it kind of hit me. I don't know why. It just hit me real hard. Remember, he puts the box down. It says the GED. He had the GED book in the box.
Oh yeah. He was gonna take because he can't go to college with them.
Now he has to get his GED.
Well, you can't be everything, cuz. You can't be the neighborhood hero and be an MIT student. We ain't got time for that shit, bro. No got time for college.
It's just real hard. Like, he tried so hard.
No, I appreciate that they kept it real though. Like that was real. And you're right, J-Kruz. Like you can't have it all. Like
you can't have it both.
Everybody each Spider-Man lost something, And he had to in order to keep that title, in order to keep that mantle, he had to let go of practically everything he loved.
And
it was bittersweet.
I like that, like because like college is also kind of like a class symbol too, and I think that the criticism was that Tom isn't really that working class hero in a lot of his movies. So the fact that you see him kind of like getting his GED, that's more like, I don't know, more aligned with the kind of the class kind of
absolutely
level to his
And now that no one knows him, he has no access to the company, like or his money or anything.
Mm-hmm. Say that again, RJ.
Like broke Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man because he's every day like he's struggling to pay bills.
Right.
He's a landlord. He's got this apartment. He's tired, and he's a genius. But I mean, it doesn't matter. Like he's everyday people. But then he was Tony's protege, so he just had he got nanotech just sitting in the bed. You know what I mean? So it was like
right.
You know, he didn't have to struggle like all the other Spider-Men had to struggle, and now he's gonna have to find.
He's got to struggle. So my son pointed out a scene at the end when Spidey's swinging the Christmas tree is the same exact Christmas tree in the Hawkeye series where they just had an issue. Right, and then the Kingpin. Remember how like the Kingpin in the Hawkeye show? So now they're saying if you look at the text that he gets, he's headed
to Fist Tower.
He's going to Fist Tower. So, and then obviously we had the Daredevil in this, you know, which was
what's it called? A Team Red or something like that. Like he can Spider-Man, Daredevil, and Deadpool. They team up or something like that.
Oh, like Team Red. I like that.
Yeah, like Team Red. Yeah, I'm just wishing for something like that. It can do a lot of stuff now with this.
Here's my thing though. Okay, he's a good Daredevil. I like him. Are we bringing every CW character in now to represent their?
I hope they don't bring Iron Fist. I want everyone except Iron Fist.
I don't mind Luke Cage. I don't mind Jessica Jones, but that Iron Fist dude, I don't want to see that.
Listen, he needs to be recast, reshot. Like they need to come. They're like, oh no,
recast, reshot, all that.
Seven of Iron Fist died. It's crazy. Oh, here's the new Iron Fist. That's just the title. But then
that
we
dude
lose.
Said.
Danny Rand actually is pretty cool. Because then if you get a Danny Rand Shang-Chi fight.
Oh God.
Oh
man, that'd be epic.
That would be awesome.
That would be dope. That would be dope. Because there's like you said, that's a title, right? And there's more than one person that's been Iron Fist, right? Yeah, because I don't.
He passes it down. He passes it down to the lady in the show. They just never continued with it.
Hey, I will argue that his Spidey sense should have came on when that rock came through the window.
It did.
It did not.
No.
Yeah, it did. Daredevil was just quicker.
It came on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, if you free frame, his hand is out to catch it. But Daredevil's hand is
catches it first. Okay, all right. I might have missed that.
Closer to the window.
Okay, I might have missed that. Oh yeah, because he was closer. He was right here. Right. Like I says, how did you do that? He says, "What do you say? I'm a good lawyer." What? That's the dumbest shit ever. What's that got to do with you having reflexes faster than Spider-Man? But I never caught up. Yeah, no. And you know, Daredevil, the first season, literally might be one of the best superhero shows.
I love the third season too.
Yeah, I got. But Kingpin's wearing prosthetics now, right? I think they I heard this version of him is gonna like shoulder, like they got him wearing something to look even a little bit wider. Because the dude
like the comic book version of him.
Now the one in the show, he's a big guy. That dude's like 6'7" or whatever. But you know, Kingpin's supposed to have like an extra.
I think the dude in the show is already built perfect for it.
Yeah, I think so too.
No, they're definitely adding prosthetics to him. You'll see it.
But also, you know, Daredevil too, right? I can't remember his name. Because his lawyer, like his other lawyer friend.
Right? Oh, Foggy.
Oh yeah, Foggy.
Okay. Do you remember who played Foggy the last time Daredevil?
John Favreau.
Huh?
John Favreau, right?
Yeah.
Who plays Happy?
Yep.
Yeah, he plays Happy. Yeah.
John Favreau. Yeah, Daredevil and Spider-Man. So it's a cool little callback.
Yeah, I see Foggy losing his job at Stark, and he's like, okay, I'm thinking about being a lawyer now.
Right.
Can you help me? Yeah, that'd be funny. That'd be crazy.
Oh, that could work. Because
they're bringing up She-Hulk coming up. She's a lawyer.
Did you guys see the teaser trailer for She-Hulk?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
No,
It's
I
all
don't.
CGI. It's all CGI. She's all CGI.
Again,
But-
green rage.
But I'm with that though. I'm with that. I need a
Yeah,
CGI Hulk.
sure.
Anytime I see a Hulk, I need a CGI Hulk. Don't give me a fucking person in
Lou
green.
Ferrigno.
I'll lose my goddamn mind. Okay. I need a CGI Hulk every.
Movie fan.
What'd you say, RJ?
I said what I said.
No, you was breaking up a little bit.
I said you've already lost your mind. You're a DC movie fan.
Yeah, I gotta agree there.
Whatever. Hey, Leisha, you want to be invited back?
Look, wait. I'm gonna
I'm
tell
just
you something
kidding.
that's
I'm just
gonna
kidding. I'm
invite
just
me
kidding.
back. I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna invite me back.
All
Okay.
right, talk to me.
DC Comics 1,000%, but Marvel movies all day, every day.
Absolutely. I think also
Mhm.
animated movies, DC all day.
I could talk about
Marvel
that all day. I could
animation,
sit down all day and watch that.
Other than What If, I feel like What If is the first time Marvel like actually brought like good animation to the
You didn't
table.
like the 90s X-Men?
Thank you.
Yeah. You're right. I'm sorry. This has come up before. You're right. I was a fan. I was a
say
fan.
the Spider-Man comics are pretty, or the cartoons are pretty.
And those two, see, in the past they were pretty good, and because it's Saturday morning cartoons, absolutely.
Mhm.
See, okay,
I haven't
thought
really
about that
liked
too. I
DC
thought-
animation lately either.
Lately,
I thought he was actually. So I thought he was gonna actually like go to MIT with them, and I thought he was gonna make some friends there
nah.
and team up with some friends. You know, you ever seen that cartoon?
Oh, okay. I see.
Wait,
Yeah,
Spider-Man
I
and
know.
I thought-
Friends?
Yeah, I thought he was gonna meet. I thought he was gonna meet like Jean Grey. I thought he was gonna meet Bobby Drake. I thought they was gonna team up.
He's gonna be broke.
That's how you know.
Like he has an OnlyFans page. That's what he's gonna
DQ, I see what you're saying, but I feel like there has to be a lot more background work done to incorporate that. Like we need
Absolutely.
some type of
You
like
could know. I mean, the
X-Men movie or
multiverse real.
something.
I thought he was gonna go to college. He's like, oh, how you doing? Oh, I'm gonna Peter. What's your name? Oh, Bobby Drake. Credit.
He's
Is it something like that?
going to go to college. They already said there was gonna be 3 movies with him in high school and 3 movies with him in college. But he has to
So
get
wait,
to
it's
college.
confirmed he has 3 college movies?
Come on, man. I need him working at the Bugle, cuz.
That's
What
what I
the
was
fuck is
saying.
up with all this?
That's what I
If it
thought,
happens,
too.
That's how we can introduce music.
Going to be working at the Bugle. I just said he was gonna be broke taking photos like an OnlyFans
Okay.
page.
All right.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right.
He's gonna pay for college. That's how he's gonna pay for that sorry point. Like he just got to get through his GED, and it's Peter. You think it's gonna take him
Yeah.
long? to get his
And who you
GED?
think he gonna be in college?
Huh?
I think he's gonna meet Harry.
Ooh, he's gonna be Harry in college. Yes.
Wait,
He can
who?
be Harry
Did you
in
say
college,
Harry?
too.
He's
Yeah.
gonna meet Harry in
Yeah.
college.
I can
yeah.
see
There's no
Yeah.
Oscorp. There's no Oscorp in this universe yet.
They
So,
will,
Well,
because
we don't know
Oh.
who bought Stark Tower yet.
There you go.
yeah.
There.
Oh,
remember-
okay, Tyler.
Okay, T. Pow, 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 pow.
They've got it set up to have the Dark Avengers
Yeah.
because they took all that Spider-Man tech and the deal. The same people who like took all the Vulture's tech and was like, "Hey, we're cleaning up." They just been subtly just taking shit. So now they have enough to essentially make their own Avengers team. And oh, girl, either we're getting the Thunderbolts or we're getting the Dark Avengers. Or both.
Hey, can I also say that I'm looking forward to a less techie Spider-Man suit?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's right.
I-
I've seen
Go
the
for it.
stills of it. It looks
He's
good.
on his own now. He had this suit. He's on his own. It's like
That's what. Now he still has some technology. He's very smart, and he still has some.
Yeah, I know. If he's dealing with like street level people, like crooks or something, he'll use his own suit.
I
That's what
think
I'm
the
saying.
mask is still the
Okay.
Stark Tech mask.
Let me reach back in my closet to get my nanotech or something. But he doesn't have. They don't have the charger thing for it no more. Didn't they take it from him?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
no, they took all that, but it also doesn't matter because he's Spider.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't need all that. And Tyler, I agree with you. I think the only thing he will keep is the eyes might go, the eyes might open and close, because I think that's a reference to the comic books, how his eyes would show expression. So that way with the eyes, you can still do that. But I am so for the less techie Spider-Man. Like, it was cool. It was different. But I love that costume that he put on at the end. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
It looked like a good
OG red and blue.
Yeah, it looked like a good reference to the PS4 games.
Yes, I was gonna say if you played the PS4 game, it's one of the suits that you can put on where it's a bit like it's kind of shiny,
Yeah.
but he looks so good, like swinging through the city and everything. Like that should look crazy.
I mean, the PS4 Spider-Man was the one who died in Miles.
Yes. Oh, and a lot of the fight scenes moves were taken from the PS4 game. Like
Yeah.
the one time when he grabs him from behind and slams the goblin, that's a PS4.
Oh, yeah.
And the other one when he shoots his webs and he comes back at him,
Yep.
straight out of the game.
DQ,
Couple of those moves.
DQ, weren't you hollering that during the movie? It was
Yeah,
either
you were like-
you or D Glove. One of y'all was like, "That's from the game. That's from the game."
That's
we
like a
both were, we
that's
both were.
square triangle at the same time. Square triangle at the same time.
Like the way he looks at his phone is exactly the way like it opens in the game for the PS4 game. He looks at his phone and he hops out the window and he's like
See,
left
I
swinging.
think that's what the Amazing Spider-Man was trying to do. They were trying to give you like game visuals,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but I just feel like they kind of like tried too hard with it. I mean,
Oh, you mean
even though I
Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man?
Garfield,
Yes,
I think they was trying to get too many. It was too game visual to me. But it was, I like it though.
a little bit. Now, I do think to this day, Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the best comic book accurate costume period that we've ever had.
Garfield the best in costume Spider-Man.
He's also my favorite Spider-Man too. I know you guys will argue, but Garfield's my favorite Spider-Man.
Garfield's
He's
villain.
He's a good one.
Like he was dope as Spider-Man. His Aunt May was dope. He had the best Ben.
Yep, it's bad.
Sorry villain. She just had sorry villain.
Just had sorry villain. Because that was the only thing that felt short.
And bad
His
writing.
relationship with Gwen was awesome. But again, his Harry was weird and yeah. The rest,
I liked his Harry. I did. I liked his Harry. I did. I like that Hobgoblin. I did like him. I like how his face started to deform and look. I did because
comic book actor. It's
I
a
know.
weird adaptation. He looked like
You're
a
right.
gremlin.
Yeah.
Like, it just looked like
I appreciated like Tobey Maguire's Harry.
Yeah.
Even
I
though he
liked
was like
his.
a spoiled and rich, he was still pretty humble. Whereas the Amazing Spider-Man's Harry, that was just an entitled little rich kid.
Yeah, I
Didn't
hated
get his way
his
and threw a
Harry.
tantrum. I did not like that one at all.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily.
We were best friends when we were kids.
I get it. I'm just saying.
Let me
Give me
ask
your
you this:
blood.
do you think he's a good villain,
Oh,
J-Rock? Do you think he's a good villain, as opposed to Jamie Foxx, Harry, Amazing Spider-Man's Harry?
no, all his villains suck. All his villains suck.
I mean, you
Yeah.
have a point.
Yo,
You do have
I
a point.
You
You do
know,
have a
Yeah.
remember when he said I went dark after when Stacy died?
Okay.
I wonder after with the credits. I wonder did he just beat the hell out of Harry after the movie?
So, okay, I have a theory because in the Morbius trailer, you see Murderer and
Yes!
Spider-Man.
I'm
And
glad
you
you
see
brought
that
that
it's the Oscorp building from Amazing Spider-Man 2. So I think that
But
he
it's
might
not
have
the
went too far and
But
killed.
the Spider-Man in the picture is Toby's Spider-Man.
Yeah,
you can
it
take
is
that out though.
weird.
You can change that. After in
But-
the movie, it would be Andrew Garfield Spider-Man on that wall.
True.
You
Yeah.
can do that to not let people catch on to what you're doing.
Yeah.
You do that maybe.
Well, it just has so many inconsistencies because it has Amazing Spider-Man 2's Oscorp building, it has the Vulture from Tom, and then it
Yes.
has Tobey Maguire. So it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
in my head canon, Andrew Garfield killed Green Goblin after
Hey.
that, and
I like it.
everyone
I like
thinks
it.
they're
Anything
murdered.
is possible. Once that trailer, was it the trailer that came out where it was showing Tom Holland like jumping at Electro and you could see the
Yeah.
other Spider-Mans, but you see
How they were like coming at.
no, the lizard.
lizard.
The lizard, his neck, like he's jumping, and then the next
Yeah.
thing you see is his neck like cricked. Like I'm saying that to say we can catch on to anything and they can still change it any day, so it really don't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah, no, for sure. They can just change it last second.
And speaking of the lizard, one last point, I thought he looked
that's all right.
terrible in this movie. I thought he was probably the worst villain, and the CGI was just really bad for him too.
Tyler, I'm gonna be honest with you. I liked his look better in this one than the original because he looked too human in the first one. I hated his flat face
I
in
can
that
agree with that,
first
yeah.
movie. I was like, he's a lizard, dude. Give me a lizard snout. Like they wanted this face realistic face, and I felt like in this one they changed it slightly. They made his face less human looking, and I also felt like as a character he fell a little flat too. Like there wasn't. He didn't do a lot. You know what I mean? He didn't really do anything.
If we're being honest, all of the villains didn't really put forth too much effort, except for Green Goblin.
But
I will
even
say
Green Goblin. This was an argument I had with my son. I said the villains really didn't destroy. They weren't that destructive. They didn't really
kill Aunt May.
Other than that, that was it. That was, and you didn't even know he killed her technically.
That wasn't that, but that's their point wasn't to be that. They were supposed to be they were supposed to represent all of Spider-Man's mistakes. And then cleaning up all of Spider-Man's failures. The Spider-Man story, more than anything, is the fact that he fails. Superman don't ever fail. He always touches Lois. But like Spider-Man is defined by the fact that he didn't get to save Ben and it was his fault. He didn't get to save Gwen and it was his fault. He didn't get to save Harry. He didn't save anyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I caught on to that too.
So it was a lot about, again, and that's why like the whole like, oh, they all knew him. It didn't really matter. They picked villains that was like, oh, we scientifically need to cure them because they never.
Yeah.
Like all those villains they tried to help in the future movie, in the past movies. They couldn't do it. So they died. This movie was closure.
Wow, you know what? That's deep. I never thought of that. In every other movie, they tried to save the villains instead of killing them, and they couldn't. But in this one, they actually came together and saved the villains. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is basically a closure movie and an origin movie. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So the one that to open up.
RJ's making a face. What?
Just caught on to that? No wonder you like DC movies.
Oh my God.
Oh, calm down. Let's calm down.
You childish.
He is a child.
They had to save all the villains, but more importantly, OG Spider-Man had to save Peter
from going to the dark side. I get it. Right.
It was all about saving, just like they were saving themselves just as much as they were saving everyone else. It was like, no.
You also get to see. Sorry, RJ. You also get to see how much of a child Tom Holland is compared to the other two. Like he's a kid.
Yeah.
He's a kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's a kid.
But that's why Spider-Man is a kid. Because typically, like, especially when you have children, like they're your hope. Which is what Spider-Man is, the hope of the MCU, because he's always a kid. He's a kid, he's a child prodigy. He's the best of what Spider-Man used to be. Because even Iron Man was like, bro, haunt them for the whole rest of their time. Because they knew how special Spider-Man is. Because when Spider-Man dies, hope dies.
Hope dies. Okay, so I feel like we had a nice look. Anybody want to say anything before we wrap this thing up? Because my ears are about to fall off. Anybody? We good? I want to thank.
About the spoilers.
Wait.
Oh, go ahead. I wanted to. So the post-credit scenes. The last one. That's pretty much just the trailer for.
Yeah.
That was a trailer. That was not a post-credit scene. That was a trailer.
I don't think it was a trailer. I think it was just snippets of the movie.
That was a trailer.
That was definitely a trailer.
Like usually they give you like a short scene or something. That was a full-blown freaking trailer, which looks cool. It reminds me of the What If with the evil.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
The evil sorcerer.
They had the tentacles and everything.
Yeah. You saw them, right? Yeah. Okay, I thought I was right. And you saw the white right here. Like it was really good. It looks cool. So I'm looking forward to that. And then what was the other post-credit scene? The
Venom.
It was Tom Hardy.
The Tom Hardy, which you guys helped me explain it because I felt like there was a hole in that again. But obviously he's in Tom's world and then he gets sucked back to his when they close the portal.
Right.
Because he was about to go see him. He's like, oh, I need to go see this Spider-Man or whatever. But then they closed it, so he's back in his universe. So that came together. Morbius in the trailer before the movie. I'm Venom. You guys see that when he says, I'm Venom? Nah, I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that?
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You like that, Tyler? You didn't like that?
I don't think it's gonna be what they say in the movie. He's probably gonna be like, I'm Morbius. Or I don't know, something like that. But
I'm Batman.
Morbius is Batman. Oh my God, they had the trailer for The Batman. It was like an extended version.
That's my favorite trailer.
That shit looks so intense.
Was it Across Seas? It's a Across Seas trailer, right?
I don't know. It's a little longer. It's got like some extra tidbits in there, and that shit gave me chills. The shit gave me. Oh my God. Oh my God, it gave me chills. Now there's rumors that.
We got 2 more months for that.
There's rumors that Pattinson could be getting replaced.
No.
Well,
he's the only reason I want to see that movie.
Thank you.
Yes, no, me too. But there's rumors that him and Matt Reeves are not getting along.
What the fuck? So you know what? I can already tell you if Robert Pattinson ain't playing him, it's gonna be a trash ass movie because that's the main reason why a lot of
he's gonna be in this
trash.
one.
Yeah, bad cast.
It's because they keep changing the fucking characters. Like
they reboot them every time. It's gonna get
trash. Sorry.
That being said, are we gonna talk about Mobius and Blade fighting? Because now we know Blade's staying at the end of the Eternal.
Yes, because Blade was at the end of Eternals, right?
How do we know for sure that was Blade? Did somebody confirm
the director?
No, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can I also say?
That's Mahershala Ali, right?
Can I also say that I think a Black Knight, because that's who that guy's gonna be with the sword, the Black Knight. I think an actual knight, an actual knight in the Marvel world with a superpowered sword is lame. A knight? We're gonna have a guy walking around in a knight suit? What? That shit is lame.
I thought it was cool.
What,
Game of
Tyler?
Thrones.
So wait, you're gonna have all these intergalactic people, these superheroes, and then you're gonna have a guy coming in a knight suit with a power sword.
Doesn't his sword isn't that the sword that cut Nowhere's head off?
It's one of the most powerful weapons in the Marvel universe. It's the most powerful.
Cruz. That sword gives him enhanced speed, enhanced strength. It just drives him crazy.
I know, but he's wearing a knight suit.
Before you say something, okay, we let a dude crawling around a hammer fly. I'm worried about that. You wasn't worried about that at all. You're like, oh
okay, but he had powers. Like he was unstoppable.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about?
So does he. This is my point. Cruz is talking about a knight's not going to work in the armor. We already know that you can enchant items. Okay, so just like vibranium can be magically enchanted, just like all of Thor's weapons are magically enchanted. Now you have a problem with somebody wielding a magically enchanted sword.
I don't have a problem with the sword. I have a problem. Is he gonna ride a horse too? Like what?
That would be epic. I would love it.
I'm right there with you though, J-Kruz.
I would love
it. He does have a horse.
I'm like a knight.
Ghost Rider has a horse sometimes.
Yeah, or a motorcycle. Right? I mean, I'm just saying.
But you know how it is. They're all enhanced. Hawkeye made it. Hawkeye made it all the way past the game into his own series, and he rocked that starry bow that whole time. He had a sword, and he didn't say nothing. The whole time.
He's the last remaining Avenger right now.
If it's any consolation, J-Kruz, I don't like Hawkeye either. So
I don't like Hawkeye either. That's why I haven't watched the show.
I think he lasted as long as he did.
The show would do so much better if they just put him in a fucking costume. Yeah. Put him in a costume. Yeah. And people will enjoy it more. I'm telling you, it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, put him in a costume and people will be drawn to the show more.
You know what they could have done? Because he almost was wearing, like the first time we saw him, looked like he was wearing his costume, and they could have just gave him a visor.
Yeah.
And then just said that was the purple part or something. They could have worked
something. But they always stayed away from it, and I feel like it's one of the reasons. Now, the show's not bad. From
an art standpoint, Hawkeye's had a great art. Like, from who, like his...
Right. It's emotional. Yeah, it's been up and, yeah.
Great art. He's the only one that had a family. He didn't know he had a family, right? He had personal ties. Like, he's still, he's like, hey, listen.
You know what pissed me off, though?
And then he went on a killing spree for a little bit. Yeah, it got really dark on your ass. You know what I mean?
I didn't like that.
Oh, you didn't like that sound?
No.
These Marvel and DC comparisons. You got Hawkeye, right? What's his girlfriend's name? Mockingbird. You got the Green Arrow. What's his girlfriend's name?
Oh,
that's
it's just all these like DC and Marvel comparisons.
You do.
Just a little bit. I'm sorry.
Who'd you say Hawkeye's girlfriend is? His wife?
It's like
His
very
wife?
like did you see the Mockingbird in comics?
No.
Who is it?
Oh, that's DC.
Whoa, I'm talking about Hawkeye.
Right.
Everybody's saying that his wife might be Mockingbird.
Oh, I gotta look that up. I'm not sure.
The SHIELD agent.
That's because Green Arrow's wife is the Canary.
Black Canary. That's what I'm saying. That's why I hate the comparisons.
Oh, can I also throw out that I thought the dragons in Shang-Chi were also too much? The dragons at the end, like I didn't need all that. The dad and the son could have had the dad and the son. Dragons? Now I gotta. So now knights and horses and dragons. Where are we going with this? Where are we going?
We're going to medieval times.
That's what I'm saying.
Medieval times.
I thought the movie was dope, but at the end, I felt like the fight should have just between him and his dad. It should have been a lot harder and a little more darker, and just like the decision.
You don't like the Kamehameha he did to kill the.
It was
so cool.
Riding dragons and shit though, like
that
the
was
dragon.
So cool.
Oh no, Tyler. Oh no, they lost me with the dragons. As soon as the dragons came out, I was like, "Oh, dragons! Oh God!"
They're a symbol of wisdom and strength, and they can also be a symbol of evil. So it was cool. You know, you could fit it in.
Okay. It's just anyway. So again, let me wrap this up. I want to thank DQ. I want to thank Leisha. I want to thank Tyler. Where's my man RJ? RJ, where'd you go?
He left.
Yeah, RJ he's like off. No, he's not a thief. He is so that dude. He don't shut up. He's so smart.
He is.
He is. He's so smart. So real quick, let's rate it. Top 3, top 5. Spider-Man, No Way Home. Marvel movie. Best Marvel movie ever.
I wouldn't give it the best one.
It tops Endgame and Infinity War to me.
Oh,
will ever be the best. Infinity War will always be the best Marvel movie. Then I'm gonna give it to No Way Home. Then Endgame.
Okay. All right. Tyler.
Yeah, I would say top 3. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is probably my favorite.
Okay.
And then I would probably say this one, and then Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, that's my 5. That's my favorite one.
Winter Soldier is the shit.
Yeah, it's so good.
Such a good movie. And I know we forget about it because it was so long ago, but literally, Winter Soldier is like one of the best. So I'll say it's definitely top 3. I'm gonna go with top 3. I think Infinity, because it's such an ensemble of superheroes, and even Endgame, it's hard to take those two against any of the other movies, because it's just seeing all of them on screen. Even Civil War was kind of cool, but seeing all of them on screen is it's hard to top.
The Captain America movie, huh? Civil War. Civil War. You forget it's a Captain America movie.
You do forget it's a Captain America movie, but I remember watching it, and when Ant-Man became a giant, I lost my mind. I was like, oh my God! Remember, like in the theater?
That would ever be my favorite scene when in the beginning of Homecoming, when Peter's recording.
Oh, yes. But when I watch it now, I'm just sad because now Tom, everyone there forgot who he is now.
Everything.
Everybody's either dead or don't remember him anymore.
Now, I remember people arguing that the Sorcerer Supreme like messed up a spell
he's not
like
the
that.
Sorcerer Supreme. It's Wong.
Oh, that's right. He tells you when he comes back. That's right.
When he was gone for those 5 years, Wong took over.
Just people still argued like, yo, why is he messing up a spell like that? You know what I'm saying? But he thought he contained it. It was I'm done complaining about it. Again, I'm going to give it top 3. I want to thank everybody for stepping in the conversation. Shouts to the homie RJ. I'm happy he ain't here. Okay? Because we ain't want to hear what he had to say. Again, till next time, y'all, I'm going to split these up in 2 segments, and I'll have them up. I'll tag everybody, and I put them on social media, and then I'll put it up on the podcast, which you can find on Spotify. It's called the We Cruising Podcast. I'll send you the links and all that. But thank y'all for your time. Always appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Peace.
All right. Spider-Man out.
Watch your nose.
I can't see anything. All right, y'all.